Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Why AI Fails Without Trusted Data and How Agentforce Fixes It using Salesforce Data Cloud. Thank you for joining us. My name is Raghav. I am an 18x certified Salesforce architect at Accelerate. Just to give you a background about the firm, Accelerate is a leading enterprise automation and AI services firm with 500 plus professionals globally. We specialize in agentic AI, intelligent automation, RPA, generative AI, Salesforce, and MuleSoft. We are a crest level Salesforce partner and work with clients across financial services, healthcare, and supply chain to deliver real, measurable business outcomes. And I have my colleague over here, Anoma. So let me hand you over to her.
Uh, Thank you, Raghav. Hi, everyone. I'm Anoma, an integration lead at Accelerator here. I focus on Agentforce implementations and helping organizations activate their AI strategy on Salesforce. So, before we dive in, I would like to know where everyone is joining in here from. Please mention yourselves in the chat, and we'll wait for about a few seconds before we start.
And during the presentation, like you can react, you can, at the end, we have a Q&A session, but you can react if you like something. You can always clap and everything. So let's make it as interactive as possible.
Also, if you have any questions, please keep them coming. We'll address them at the end of the session or as we go on.
All right, I think we can start.
Sure,
And
let's start. Yeah, we can.
okay,
Okay,
let
so
me.
today we'll walk you through why the AI initiatives fail and more importantly, how we can fix them. So, uh, Raghav, let me ask you a question right away. What's the most common thing you see go wrong when enterprises try to deploy the AI?
Well, that's a great question, Noma. And honestly, it's a pattern we see every single time. Let me share what's really happening out there. So, what's the AI reality in enterprises? The AI is a board level priority. CEOs are investing millions into AI initiatives, but outcomes widely inconsistent. Here's what we have discovered. When we analyze AI failures, it's almost never the model or algorithm, but the technology works. The gap is always in the data layer. Fragmented systems, inconsistent definitions, missing context. I tell clients this all the time. Your AI is only as smart as the data you feed it. Garbage in, garbage out. When AI operates on incomplete data, it produces outputs that lack confidence but are operationally useless. Users lose trust. The expensive AI initiative becomes shelfware. So the conclusion is trusted data is the non negotiable foundation. Let me show you the three failure modes we see repeatedly. So, failure mode number one, fragmented data sources. So, just think about your organization. Where does the customer data actually live? CRM, ERP, marketing automation, your support tickets, a data warehouse, external enrichment. Each system holds a piece of the puzzle, none has the complete picture. But when your AI queries customer data, it only sees what is connected to. Here's a real world scenario. A company's AI recommended sending a renewal upsell offer to a customer. The AI saw strong purchase history in CRM, but it couldn't see the support data. So, what's happened? That some customer had opened a crucial, critical, unresolved support case the day before. That customer received a tone deaf upsell at the worst possible moment. Hilarious, isn't it? But what's damaging is trust. Hard to repair. Siloed system prevent unified, reliable intelligence. That's failure mode number one. Now let's move to the failure mode number two, which is missing context and real-time signals. Many implementations feed AI static snapshots, last night's batch load, but customer behavior changes minute by minute. A customer is searching your computer's pricing right now, won't show up in yesterday's data. The tricky part is AI outputs appear confident, even when they are based on stale, incomplete context. Business users act on it, it backfires. Trust erodes fast. So the conclusion is without real time signals, behavior data, sentiment, call recordings, email, the AI is flying blind. The third failure mode inconsistent definitions and no governance. So, quick question: what does active customer in your organization really means? Salespeople will say anyone with an open opportunity. Support people says anyone with a case in that last 90 days. And finance people will say anyone with a revenue this quarter. Same term but three definitions, different system. And just imagine when AI encounters those inconsistencies, it can't decide which part it is. It binds them incorrectly. Outputs don't align with any team's reality. Users call it wrong. They stop using it. We have seen $1 million AI projects fail not because of technology, but because no one agreed on what customers even means. So the conclusion is critical warning. Without trusted governed data, AI doesn't just fail, it can be actively harmful. It amplifies errors at scale.
Okay, Raghav, that looks like a perfect setup. You've diagnosed the problem right now. So, what I really want to know is what actually the trusted data means and how the Salesforce Data Cloud can deliver this foundation.
All right. So when I say trusted data, clients often think I mean clean data, fix typos, deduplicate the records. That's important, but not sufficient, right? So trusted data has four key pillars or characteristics. First is unified profiles. Unified profiles mean combining structured data, which is your transaction records, with unstructured data, which is your emails, call transcripts, PDFs, maybe Slack chats. Structure tells you what happened, unstructured tells you why and how the customer feels. When you combine them, it adds context to your data. So that means the AI understand as a human. Next is the semantic standardization. Consistent definitions encoded across all systems. So both humans and AI interpret data the same way. So no more three versions of the active customer. Next is the policy-based governance. Privacy access control compliance embedded at the data layer. When AI accesses data, it automatically respects your compliance, GDPR, CCPA, or HIPAA. Lastly, I have the real-time activation. AI sees fresh signals, not yesterday's snapshot. So what's happening right now drives the response. And Salesforce Data Cloud is purpose-built to deliver all the four of this. So next is the trusted foundation. Data Cloud is a customer data platform built to unify, govern, and activate data for AI, as we learned before. So what are the four core capabilities? How we do that exactly? First is ingestion. Ingestion means connecting to everything Salesforce apps. Snowflake, Databricks, data lakes, external APIs, zero copy architecture. That means you just bring the data and not store it. Your data stays wherever it is, but Data Cloud queries it as if native. Next is conversion. Handles structured and unstructured data, PDFs, emails, call recordings, Slack messages, as I talked about previously in the previous slide, all searchable. 80 to 90% of enterprise data is unstructured. If AI can't use it, you're working with 10 to 20% of available context. Next is standardization. Applies a semantic model, like you combine all the data points together and make a meaningful model, like email in Salesforce, email address in ERP, contact email marketing are all three definitions, but all resolved to the same unified field. Next is governance, embedded from the ground up, consent policies, field level securities, data residency. When Agentforce access data, those policies auto enforce. We'll learn that in upcoming slides. So next we'll learn why data cloud matters for AI. Now we have learned about the problems with data with the AI models currently, how data cloud fixes it. Now how the data cloud matters for the AI that we want to use. Simple principle: the quality of AI outputs is bounded by the quality of inputs. You can have the most sophisticated model in the world; it only sees 20% of customer data. It only produces outputs based on that 20%. So data cloud removes that constraint: unified profiles, real-time activation, governed context, 90% of enterprise data is unstructured, and Data Cloud handles all of it. If your AI strategy doesn't account for unstructured data, you are building on sand. So now the next question is, how does Agentforce actually use this data? What is a RAG and why does it matter? So Anoma, over to you.
Okay. Uh, Thank you, Raghav, for covering the basics of the data cloud and making us understand how the trusted data cloud data works, right? So moving on to Agent 4 and specifically the RAG. So let's break down how RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, how it is critical to Agent Force because it helps Agent Force avoid the hallucination. So anyone who's ever used the generative AI has seen how the AI models hallucinate, right? The model confidently makes up anything as a response, right? So when you are using it in the casual context, it's okay, but annoying at times. But when it is being used in the enterprise decisions, it's completely unacceptable. The RAG is meant to solve this. So before the AI generates the response, it first retrieves the relevant content from your enterprise knowledge base. Then that content becomes the context for the generation. So the model basically responds based on the verified enterprise content and not some imagination. To give you an analogy, think of it as an open book test, right? Instead of recalling everything from your memory. So that's what RAG is. But in the data cloud context, the data cloud uses hybrid search. It uses semantic vector search, which means that it understands the meaning. So when I say reset my password, it matches the reset my password to account recovery and without even using the exact words. Second would be the keyword search. So keyword search ensures precision, specific product names, case numbers, and exact matches, right? So that's what makes up the hybrid search for the data cloud. And the Agentforce uses a data library which is called the ADL, Agentforce Data Library. It is a no-code drag and drop tool which is used to configure the RAG sources. So these RAG sources could be anything starting from the Salesforce objects. It could be the files where you can configure the chunk sizes, define the metadata filters. There's absolutely no coding required. Your admins can easily manage this and no data science team is required for this. Now moving on to what is Agentforce. So what Agentforce is, right? Let's make it clear what it is not. It's not a chatbot. It's not even a co-pilot that suggests the next steps. Agentforce is an autonomous agent framework. It reasons through multi-steps problems, makes decisions, and takes actions without waiting for human approval at every step. So under the hood for the Agentforce, it's using the Atlas reasoning engine. So what the reasoning engine does is it breaks the complex problems into tasks and retrieves the relevant data. It reasons through the options and then it executes the actions. So let's, for an example, say that I want to resolve this billing issue. Then the number of actions that are already it, that the number of actions that it would go through would be like retrieve the account history, identify past disputes, check invoices for any discrepancies, determine resolution path, and then execute and update the record. It's like conductor conducting an orchestra. Every component plays its part at the right time. So crucially, Agentforce accesses Data Cloud's unified profiles at every step of the reasoning. Not reasoning in a vacuum, but reasoning over a complete and trusted data. And the low-code guardrails that are already embedded and baked let you define the boundaries. So the agent can update the status but not delete the records. It can recommend a 10% discount but not 50%. So it's completely safe and a controlled autonomy. So now that's agent first. But why agent first is preferred over the DIY AI, right? So many organizations they have built or will build or are already building DIY AI bots, right? using the OpenAPI or the Claude or the Gemini and hook it up to a few disparate data sources. The limitation of these DIY AIs would be that those bots only see whatever has been manually piped in, right? Stitching together 10 systems, applying governance to all of these, and keeping it real in time, that's a major engineering lift. Months of works that breaks every time a data source changes. Agentforce is natively integrated with the data cloud. Unified, governed, and real-time customer profiles get to you automatically. You just configure and not build. The governance is automatic. If a user can't see a field, the agent can't surface it for you. For the DIY bots, you manually code security, easy to get wrong, and a huge compliance risk. Agentforce is grounded in data clouds, customer 360. DIY bots aren't. Complete data versus whatever you manage to hook up. You get my point, right? Next, we can discuss the Agentforce capabilities across the multitude of functions. So, Agentforce works across your entire organization. We'll be going through a few examples of this. It can be customer support, can be sales development, or it can be employee self-service. It can also be DevOps and engineering. So look, going back to the customer support, what it does is offer you for the customer support, it offers a full customer context, the past cases, knowledge articles, sentiment, better first contact resolution, and fewer escalations. For the sales development point of view, Agentforce would prioritize the high value leads using engagement signals, draft personalized outreach, auto update the CRM so that the reps sell more and admin less. In the case of employee self-service, the queries related to password resets or any HR related queries or the PTO requests, these would be handled instantly without a human in the loop. And coming back to the DevOps and engineering, the incident triage would be automated, root cause analysis would be done, and a remediation options would be suggested. So that means a faster mean time to resolution. It sounds amazing so far. Let's make this concrete and walk through some real world use cases scenarios where the agent force and the data cloud can be useful. Our first use case is customer service. So, for an example, let's say a customer contacts with a billing question. Traditionally, what would happen is agent would search the CRM, pull the account, check the knowledge base, and sees the invoice, but not the past sentiments, not the previous chat history. It's an incomplete picture. With Agentforce, powered by the data cloud, the agent pulls the unified profile from data cloud, all the billing history, all past support cases, sentiment scores from call transcripts, email contexts. It understands not just what the customer is asking for, but also why they're frustrated and what has worked before. So, based on this, it determines the next best actions, recommends the exact knowledge article that solved this issue in the last week, or it can escalate to a billing ops if it detects a recurring systemic failure. It can also auto update the case record with full context and no manual logging is required. The result is an accurate contextual resolution on the first contact. So that's all about how Agentforce and Data Cloud can be used in the customer service use case. Our second use case is related to the sales productivity. Sales reps waste a huge amount of time qualifying leads, drafting emails, and updating the CRM. That's actually time away from their main job, which is selling. Agentforce accesses the unified profiles and engagement data, which can be website visits, email clicks, content downloads, and past conversations. It prioritizes the hottest leads and not just the created last week, but visited pricing page 3 times in 2 days, downloaded competitor comparison, and opened last email twice. That's a buying signal right there. It drafts personalized outreach grounded in real context. I noticed you downloaded our pricing guide and visited our integrations page. Here's how we can connect with tools you're already using. So that's 20 minutes of manual research per lead, now automatic. It auto updates the CRM after every interaction. We've seen clients cut manual data entry by almost 70%. So now we have results that lead to higher lead conversions and shorter sales cycle and less admin work. That's all about the sales productivity use case. Moving on to the marketing and personalization use case, where marketing's main challenge is timing and depth of personalization. Agentforce monitors the real-time behavior signals from the data cloud. Customer abandons a cart? No worries. Agent triggers a personalized recovery email within minutes while the purchase is still top of the mind of the customer. Another example would be customer completes onboarding, agent immediately kicks off the next nurture step. No waiting for the next batch campaign. And personalization goes deep. Not just, hey, hi, but content tailored to actual behavior and sentiment. So that would look like, for example, you've been exploring our enterprise plan. Here's a case study from a company just like yours. So what you have is a closed loop analytics that lets marketing teams trace the campaign impact all the way to the revenue. Not just the email gets opened, but this email contributed to a 50K deal 2 weeks later. And the result is higher engagement, better conversion, and provable ROI. Raghav, I'll hand it back to you for the demo.
Yeah, perfect, Noma. We have covered the theory, data foundation, AI capabilities, real use cases. Now let me bring this to life with a real implementation we have built. Like just to give you a background, what we're going to see now, when you are about to see a real estate customer service agent, which is powered by Agentforce and Salesforce Data Cloud, this agent acts as an intelligent sales coach. It converses with a prospective property buyer, understands their preferences, filter properties by location and amenities, and guides them all the way to scheduling a property visit. And here's what makes it powerful. The moment a customer confirms interest, the entire backend fires automatically. A lead, a visit record, and an open opportunity are created inside Sales Cloud. A visit manager is assigned, and both the customer and the team receive instant email alerts. So no manual data entry, no dropped handoffs. The sales team picks it up from there with everything they need already in the systems. As you watch, pay attention to four things: how the agent converses naturally, like a knowledgeable sales coach, how it filters properties in real time based on the customer's preferences, how it handles the visit scheduling seamlessly, and how does Salesforce automatically creates a lead, visit record, and opportunity in the background. So let me share my screen and hit play. Okay, so what you see is an agent running on top of a Experience Cloud Builder site, which is for Jepson. And Jepson is a real estate firm which allows users to come and visit the property. And as a user, I am interacting with their property discovery concierge bot, and I'm trying to find my dream property. So I have entered my prompt, and I'm looking for a property with 3 BHK flat. And if I have any amenities, I can also mention, and it will list me all the options that are available. So these are the properties, or I would say the builders that are offering with 3 BHK flats. And now I'm making the job of the AI bot more difficult by entering more filters and more context to what I really want. So it's searching in the data cloud and finding all the relevant units that match my preferences. Now I have these properties that match my preferences. And it does ask me if you want to schedule a visit. This is where I enter my personal information, because that information is key for the sales team, and it will basically create a lead and visit record and an open opportunity in Salesforce. And as soon as I provide my available time and date, it will also initiate a notification directly to my email that your visit has been scheduled, and a visit manager is already assigned to my visit record. All right. So visit is successfully scheduled, and there's the email I have received, because I'm able to see my booking details. Now let's go back to Salesforce Sales Cloud and see what's happened in the Sales Cloud, what kind of records are created, and how, from a reporting perspective, from a leadership reporting perspective, I can see all my properties and the visits and the visitors. So this is the visitors. This is the so you can see all the relationship. The visitor is being already created, and the property that I have chosen with the product exactly. And there is also a lead record you can see. And beneath that, you see the visit assigned, which is the visit manager, who will be actively working with the visitor, with the property visit and everything. And if I want to see a dashboard, like this is more of a leadership dashboard that a management would like to see. So there I can see all my statistics, like by per property, how many visits were, how many people have showed interest by property. And I also can see total visits scheduled, what's the chart. And based upon that, I can run more metrics and see how my agent is performing in terms of sales data. This is more relevant for salespeople and the leadership. And also, if I have an open opportunity, I can also see. Okay, so that's great, right? So let me walk you through what just happened, because there's a lot going under the hood. I just given you a high level overview and a surface level description, but within that, how Agentforce and Data Cloud are actually helping and to get me more leads and more visitors for this particular customer. So first is conversation intelligence powered by trusted data. The agent didn't just respond it, you see, it understood the customer's intent, preferred location, budget range, and must have amenities, and use that context to surface the most relevant properties. That is RAG, and Data Cloud's unified property and customers' data working together in real time. Next is the real-time property filtering. Notice how the agent dynamically filtered based on criteria the customer mentioned during the conversation. It wasn't pulling from a static list. It was acquiring live governed data from Data Cloud to give accurate, up-to-date results. Seamlessly visit scheduling. The moment the customer said they were interested, the agent guided them through scheduling. No separate form, no email back and forth. It handled the entire booking flow within the conversation. And lastly, I have the automated backend execution. Zero manual work. This is where it gets really powerful. The instant the visit was confirmed, a lead was created in the Sales Cloud with all customer details and preferences pre-filled. A visit record was created and a visit manager was automatically assigned. An open opportunity was created for the sales team to follow up. The customer received an instant email confirmation with visit details. As we see, the sales team received an instant alert so they can prepare. So everything the sales team needs to already there. Uh, No manual entry data, no dropped handoffs, no delays. And lastly, governed and secure. Every piece of data, customer preferences, property details, contact information of the lead was accessed within Salesforce governed framework, security and compliance automatic. This is exactly the kind of AI that changes how business operate. The customer had a seamless guided experience. The sales team received a warm, fully contextualized lead ready to close. This is Agentforce and Data Cloud working together, not a chatbot, a genuine autonomous agent that acts, creates records, assigns resources, and triggers communications all in one conversation. So let me share the best practices to make sure your deployment succeeds. So there are four key practices that will drastically increase your success rate. First is build trust first. Don't enable AI before your data is ready. That is, start with data unification and governance, accesses quality, identify gaps, fix them before you turn on AI. If your data has a 5% error rate, your AI amplifies that at scale. So next is the RAG governance. RAG is only as good as what it retrieves from. Conduct regular knowledge results, audits, outdated articles will be surfaced with full confidence. Set up review cycles, version controls, and quality checks. Treat your knowledge base like a production. Keep it as clean as possible. Next is structure your content. Use proper headings in knowledge articles. H1 through H6. RAG chunking algorithm use headings to identify semantic boundaries. Well-structured articles produce far better retrieval than walls of text. Small change, big impact. And it also increases the speed of which your records are retrieved and shown on the Agentforce. So that's a key use case for most of the business, the speed and accuracy of the agent. Lastly, iterate with testing. Use the Agentforce testing center, stimulate scenarios, test edge cases, refine prompts and guardrails. Monitor outcomes continuously after launch. AI is not set it and forget it. It's continuous improvement. You can also use the AI Analytics Studio to track your agent performance and see how the customers are asking this question, the response, this response time, and you can always improvise on it. And lastly, the conclusion. Here's the one thing I want you to leave with today. AI's success isn't about clever models. It's about trusted data, governed intelligence, and control autonomy. Data Cloud plus Agent 4 is equal to reliable AI that works within your business tools and drives measurable and repeatable outcomes. Data Cloud provides a trusted foundation. Agent Force provides the autonomous intelligence. Together, AI you can actually trust and act on. Start with your data, get that foundation right, then enable AI, not the other way around. Anoma, let's take some questions.
Yes, sure, Raghav. Thank you so much for the brilliant walkthrough. We have a few minutes for the questions. Let's get through as many as we can. All right. So, starting with the first question, I want to ask, what's the first step to get started with the data cloud and Agentforce?
Well, I already said it. Like, start with the focus pilot. Pick one high impact use case like customer service or lead qualification. Access your data landscape first. What sources exist? What's the quality? What gaps need fixing? Get that foundation right before you turn on AI. We typically recommend an 8 to 12 week pilot that proves value fast and builds momentum. All right.
Yeah.
And secondly, I would like to ask you back, like, how do you measure ROI from an agent force implementation?
Okay, so what I'd suggest is track three things mainly: the time savings, the accuracy improvements, and the conversion lifts, right? So, for example, if we have agents that were spending 10 minutes per case, agent force reduces that to 2 minutes. That's about 80% of your time savings, right? So, we help a client set up dashboards that tie AI actions directly into business outcomes. So, that's how you can track and measure your ROI from the agent force implementation. Okay. So another question that we have is what happens when the agent doesn't know the answer?
Well, that's a great question. Agent force has built in fallback logic. If confidence is low or no relevant content is found, it can escalate to a human agent. ask clarification questions, or admit uncertainty. I don't have that information, but let me connect you with someone who does. You configure these guardrails. The key is it won't hallucinate or make something up. So there is always a human in the loop.
Yes, guardrails are important, right?
And lastly, I would like to ask you, like, can you share a real example where this saved significant time or money in your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So we worked with a financial services client, and their support team was handling almost 500 plus routing inquiries daily. So after we deployed Agentforce for them, 60% of those were fully automated and resolved using Agentforce. So that freed up to like 12 FTEs to focus on complex and high value cases. So the payback period was around 6 months, and customer satisfaction scores actually went up because the response times dropped and almost from hours to mere minutes. So that right there, it shows you how significantly you can save your time and money with the agent force and the data cloud. Okay, so I think we are on time on the questions, right? Bhagav, any final words?
Just a huge thank you to everyone for attending and being with us and understand your doubts and queries related to data clouds and agent force. The takeaway is very clear: start with the trusted data, then enable AI. The order matters. Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone for joining in. So as you can see, there's a QR code right here on the screen. If you want to continue the conversation, please scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you to our contact page. Share your agent use case, and our team will get back to you with the webinar recording, relevant assets, and next steps tailored to your scenario. Thanks again.